Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predicted 11 for Manchester United's game against Chelsea, which is on Sunday. Now I'm going to go with the 4-2-3-1 formation. So, in goal, David De Gea. David De Gea was in goal for the game against Villarreal recently, and he made some fantastic saves against Villarreal. He also did well in our last league game, which was Watford, even though Manchester United did lose 4-1, because in the game against Watford, De Gea saved 2 penalties. He also made some other good saves in the game. So he has done really well so far this season. This season is De Gea's 11th season at Man United, so he has been a long servant. He's been with us since the Ferguson era. De Gea has got under 2 years left on his current contract at Man United, and he receives £375,000 a week. You know, De Gea has won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions, and he's made over 350 appearances in the Premier League. You know, last summer, De Gea reclaimed the #1 spot back because he decided to cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for the starting place, and it did mention at that point that De Gea was determined to fight for his Man United future. Right back, I'm going to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I thought Bissaka played very well in the 2-0 win against Villarreal recently. I thought he dealt with Danjuma well. He made some good blocks and some good interceptions. Bissaka has had good games this season. He's also enjoyed poor games as well. Defensively, Bissaka is superb, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And there's aspects of his game that I've got to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent. His crossing's got to improve a bit more, and his positioning has to improve. But despite that, he's still one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. This season is Bissaka's 3rd full season at Man United. We got Bissaka for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. The 2 centre-halves, Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, because Harry Maguire is suspended. You know, Maguire got sent off in the 4-1 defeat to Watford, and Raphael Varane is out with a hamstring injury. Eric Bailly, he's only made 3 appearances so far this season. He played in the 2-0 defeat to Man City. He was very poor in that game. You know, Man City's first goal came from an own goal by Bailly, but it wasn't only the own goal, it was his overall performance. It was just very poor, and I was shocked in that aspect because he played well in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta. He also played well in the Carabao Cup against West Ham earlier on this season. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago, obviously with the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window, and for some reason Lindelof's been preferred to Bailly. Don't ask me why, because Bailly is a far superior centre-half to Lindelof. My element of concern about Bailly is injury prone, so in that aspect is a liability. Towards the end of last season he signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. He's been at Manchester United by now for 5.5 years. We paid 30 million for him from Villarreal back in 2016. As for Victor Lindelof, he did play in the 2-0 win against Villarreal, and I thought he was impressive. He did very well defensively. I do have my reservations about Victor Lindelof. I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. He's been at Manchester United for 4.5 years now. We got Lindelof from Benfica back in 2017 for around 31 million, and Lindelof's got a contract with the club until 2024. Now, left back, Luke Shaw, if fit. If not fit, then obviously Alex Telles. Luke Shaw is out with a head injury. He got the head injury in the 4-1 defeat to Watford last weekend. Luke Shaw obviously missed the 2-0 win against Villarreal because of the head injury he's got. Obviously Telles played ahead of Luke Shaw against Villarreal. Luke Shaw's been very, very poor though so far this season. I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Luke Shaw was superb. I would like to see Telles start this game though, because I thought Telles played very well in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. You know, defensively he was good. He showed some good attacking intent and he put some good crosses into the box. You know, in a few of the games Telles has been involved in, he's been consistent. Earlier on this season, Telles was out with injury. The reason we brought Telles in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Man United got Telles for 15.4 million with add-ons included from Porto last year, and we brought Telles in to provide competition for Shaw. Now, centre midfield, I'm going to go with Fred and Scott McTominay. Fred played in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. He enjoyed a good game. He made 2 interventions for Ronaldo and Sancho's goals against Villarreal. So that proves he made an impact. And he also had a chance in the game that produced a good save from the Villarreal goalkeeper. I do have my reservations though about Fred. You know, he's enjoyed a lot of bad games at United, but he's had some good games as well. Manchester United got Fred for 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. We overpaid for him. I've got to make an admission though regarding Fred. I thought he was an exceptional player during his time in Ukraine. McTominay, I don't think he's good enough to represent the club. I just don't think McTominay is going to emulate to that level where we want him to be at. He has had his good games at Man United, don't get me wrong. He's been part of the club for a long time. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. But Fred and McTominay do play a lot of games together in the centre and midfield. Now, the attacking midfielder, I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez did not start in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. Obviously, Van der Beek started ahead of Bruno Fernandez against Villarreal, but Fernandez did come on in the game against Villarreal and he made an instant impact. Obviously, he got the assist for Jaden Sanchez's goal. Fernandez, though, has had some poor games this season. He was poor in the 4-1 defeat to Watford. Obviously, in that game against Watford, Fernandez defended Solskjaer because obviously fans were abusing Solskjaer. Fernandez was also poor in the 2-0 defeat to Man City before the international break. Fernandez, though, starts the vast majority of Man United's games. He has, though, been consistent in a lot of games. He's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandez has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. Recommended him in from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. And he's won awards at Man United reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandez did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United, and when he come to Man United, Fernandez said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Fernandez has got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. So yeah, him in the number 10. The right wing, I'm going to go with Jaden Sanchez. Jaden Sanchez was our best player in the 2-0 win against Villarreal. You know, Sancho scored his first goal for the club, and what a goal it was as well. Hit it from the right of the box and it went in off the inside of the crossbar. Every time Sancho got the ball against Villarreal, he looked threatening. His movement was good and he got in some very good positions. It's the best game so far he's had for Manchester United. But Sancho's obviously been poor in quite a few games. You know, we might now though start to see the best of Sancho, because when we had Solskjaer, you know, Solskjaer played Sancho out of position, but there again there was a few games that Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. I said Sancho will do well at United, providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. Sancho did endure 4 very good years at Dortmund before he came to us, and I'm hoping that at Man United he can replicate what he did in his 4 years at Dortmund. You know, Man United got Sancho for what, 78 million? That's with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front, and he's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. On the left wing, I'm going to go with Marcus Rashford. Rashford didn't start in the 2-0 win against Villarreal, but he did come on and he made an instant impact. You know, Rashford made some very good runs. He got in some good positions. He also had a chance when he came on against Villarreal from a tight angle, produced a good save from the Villarreal goalkeeper. Rashford has done well in quite a few games since he's come back, but he's also enjoyed some poor games as well. Don't forget, Rashford was out with a shoulder injury for a while at one point, and at one point he had to have an operation on his shoulder. Most of the time now you see Rashford on that left wing. We need to keep him there because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. You know, he risen up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016, and he's got a contract with Man United until 2023. And the striker, I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo, of course, played in the 2-0 win against Villarreal recently. You know, Ronaldo scored in that game. It was a lovely chip over the Villarreal goalkeeper, but the goal from Ronaldo came from a poor clearance from the Villarreal goalkeeper. Like I mentioned, you know, Fred contributed to Ronaldo's goal. Ronaldo should have had another goal against Villarreal because he had the chance from a tight angle, just went wide. He also had a chance in the first half against Villarreal from a header, but the Villarreal goalkeeper saved it. Ronaldo got an assist in the 4-1 defeat to Watford last weekend. So Ronaldo's got 2 assists so far since he re-signed, and he's scored 10 goals for Manchester United in all competitions since he re-signed. Ronaldo is the best player in the world overall. He has won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Ronaldo has got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United. He wears a number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million with add-ons included. Man United paid just over 12 million up front. So that's how I think Man United will line up against Chelsea. Obviously, there's no Mason Greenwood, he's still out with COVID. Obviously, there's no Paul Pogba. Pogba's out for the rest of the year with a thigh injury. He suffered the thigh injury in France training earlier on in the season. Pogba may never play for the club again. Obviously, Edison Cavani, he's out with injury until December. Cavani was out with injury earlier on this season. Like I mentioned, there's no Maguire because he's suspended. There's no Varane, he's out with a hamstring injury. And obviously Luke Shaw, he's got a head injury. This game against Chelsea is Michael Carrick's first Premier League game in charge as the interim manager. Michael Carrick won his first game as the interim manager against Villarreal. Of course, Manchester United beat Villarreal 2-0. And reflecting on the win against Villarreal, Manchester United qualified for the last 16 of the Champions League with still 1 game to spare in the group. Michael Carrick deserved a lot of credit from that game against Villarreal because I like the way he approached the game. His game plan was correct and his substitutions were correct. But this will be a very, very difficult game against Chelsea. Chelsea are in scintillating form. Chelsea are top of the Premier League at the moment. They've only lost 1 game so far in the league this season. Chelsea are coming into this game on the back of a 4-0 win against Juventus in the Champions League. Chelsea won their last league game against Leicester 3-0. Chelsea have got a very, very good manager in Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel won the Champions League with Chelsea last season. And last season, Thomas Tuchel got Chelsea to the FA Cup final, but Chelsea lost the FA Cup final to Leicester. Tuchel has been Chelsea manager for almost a year. He's got a contract with Chelsea until 2024. Before Chelsea, Tuchel was at PSG. He did well there. Before, he managed Borussia Dortmund, and before, he managed Mainz 05. Last season, obviously Chelsea sacked Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was in charge of Chelsea for around 18 months. Obviously Lampard wasn't good enough as a manager. Lampard is a Chelsea legend, isn't he? Lampard's Chelsea's all-time leading goal scorer with 211 goals. Before Frank Lampard, Chelsea had Maurizio Sarri. Maurizio Sarri only lasted a season at Chelsea. When Maurizio Sarri though was Chelsea manager, you know, he won the Europa League and he got Chelsea to the League Cup final. Perhaps Maurizio Sarri should have been given more time. Yes, Chelsea sacked Sarri. Before Sarri, Chelsea had Antonio Conte. He did win the Premier League in his first season at Chelsea, but despite that, Chelsea still ended up sacking him. Before Conte, Chelsea had Jose Mourinho. Of course, Chelsea sacked Jose Mourinho. Mourinho enjoyed 2 spells at Chelsea. He did well in his first spell because he won 2 Premier League titles with Chelsea. Before as well, Chelsea have had Di Matteo. I think they sacked him. Before they had Gus Hiddink. I think they also sacked him. At one point they had Rafa Benitez, you know, as interim. I think they sacked him. They had Villas-Boas at one point, they sacked him. They had Carlo Ancelotti a long time ago as well. Chelsea won the Premier League under Ancelotti, and I think they also won the FA Cup under him. But despite that, they still sacked him. So Chelsea have sacked a lot of managers. I think since Roman Abramovich brought Chelsea, Chelsea must have sacked around 12 or 13 managers. Chelsea have got a good squad. Obviously, you know, Chelsea have got Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea re-signed Lukaku last summer and he's made an impact since he's re-signed. Lukaku will be in contention to play in this game, so reflecting on that, he will be reuniting with Manchester United. You know, don't forget, Man United had Lukaku for a couple of years. Man United got Lukaku from Everton back in 2017 for 90 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 75 million up front. Chelsea have also got Timo Werner. Now, he has improved, but I don't think he's done as well as a lot of Chelsea fans expected. It took Timo Werner time to settle in because he was a flop at the first. Chelsea got Werner from RB Leipzig. Chelsea have also got Kai Havertz. You know, he's another good player. Chelsea got him from Bayer Leverkusen. Chelsea have also got Christian Pulisic. Chelsea got him from Borussia Dortmund. I'm hearing that Liverpool are planning to make a move for him in January. I think Chelsea want around 43 million for Pulisic. Chelsea have also got Callum Hudson-Odoi, you know, a young player, still got a lot of development in him. They've also got Mason Mount, you know, he's a young player, got a lot of development in him. Mason Mount, I like him a lot. Chelsea have also got Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well, you know, another good young player. I highly rate that Reece James as well. He's predominantly a right back for Chelsea. Chelsea, of course, have got N'Golo Kante. N'Golo Kante is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. He really is. Chelsea got Kante from Leicester. Kante's won the Premier League as a Chelsea player. He also won the Premier League when he was a Leicester player as well. Chelsea have also got Kovacic. I don't really rate him, to be honest with you. He's out with injury at the moment. Chelsea have also got Jorginho. I don't highly rate him, but I think he's improved recently. Chelsea got him from Napoli. Chelsea have also got that Christensen. Now, I don't really rate him. Chelsea, of course, have got Saul Niguez. They got him on loan last summer. if you do remember rightly, Manchester United tried to get Saul Niguez. Chelsea have also got Thiago Silva and Milan Sarr. They've got that Hakim Ziyech, who they brought in back in February 2020. I think he's one of Chelsea's centre-halves. Chelsea have also got Ben Chilwell. They got him from Leicester. Chelsea have done very good business with Leicester in recent years. Ben Chilwell, I heard, actually out with injury at the moment. He's a left back. He's Ben Chilwell. Chelsea have also got Marco Alonso. I think he's another left back Chelsea have got. Rudiger, I highly rate him. He's a very good centre half for Chelsea. You know, Chelsea have also got Azpilicueta as well. He's alright. I think Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper is Mendy. Now their second choice goalkeeper is Kepa Arrizabalaga. They've also got another goalkeeper called Bettinelli. They got him from Fulham last summer. So there you go. I think Chelsea Football Club made a big mistake getting rid of Eden Hazard. Chelsea should have kept him because Hazard was good for them. You know, Hazard endured like 7 years, was it, with Chelsea, so he was a long-serving player. Hazard went to Madrid from Chelsea. I think he's been very poor at Real Madrid, Hazard. As you all know, a few years ago, Chelsea had a transfer ban for tapping around young players. Manchester United have not got a good record at Stamford Bridge. Don't forget, we once went like 8 years without winning at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League. You know, this fixture last season at Stamford Bridge in the league was 0-0. It was also 0-0 at Old Trafford between Man United and Chelsea last season in the league. Man United's next league game after Chelsea is Arsenal. That's going to be another difficult game. Arsenal is on Thursday. On my next video, I will be giving you some more news on Ralph Rangnick. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.